Item number SCP-214. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-214 is to be contained in a 4x4 meter quarantine cell suitable for long-term human habitation within Bioresearch Area 12. It is to be considered an etiological agent of a Level 4 biohazard. Level 4 biohazard containment requires clean rooms, pre- and post-entry decontamination showers, and a vacuum antechamber. All air and water sources to SCP-214's containment area are to be isolated from the rest of the area. All employees entering SCP-214's containment area must wear hazmat suits with self-contained oxygen supply and supplemental cut restraint liner. The cell shall be under continuous observation using remote video surveillance. SCP-214 is to be considered a danger to itself and others, and shall not be allowed to possess potentially dangerous utensils. Due to SCP-214's distinct perception of pain, guards shall not cause physical injury to it except under direction of Level 2 staff. Beyond the above procedures, all personnel intending to interact with SCP-214 are to undergo psychological evaluation. All employees with prior history of depression are not permitted to interact with it. Regular sessions of psychological observation are to occur post-research in all participants. Any personnel exhibiting 2 or more of the following symptoms during observation are to be quarantined immediately in identical containment to SCP-214. Self-harming behaviors, blunted affect, glossolalia, logorrhea, compulsive lying, silvery discharge from mucous membranes or wounds, obsessive compulsive behaviors, particularly in writing or speech. Research staff is heavily encouraged to read Log-214 and Interview 214 before conducting experiments as a precautionary measure. Description: SCP-214 is male, age, formerly agent of the Foundation. Physical and mental changes were noted after investigation of incident at Public Library, MA. Containment of SCP-214 is detailed in a physical examination of SCP-214 shows the replacement of most bodily fluids, including but not limited to blood, vitreous humor, seminal fluid, and cerebrospinal fluid, with a mercury-like substance. Chemical analysis shows that the substance is a suspension of complex organometallic compounds in a protein and liquid-enriched serum, but so far nothing more can be ascertained of its origin or purpose. Most bodily functions were observed to no longer be active in SCP-214, though the related organs still exist in a preserved state within the body cavity. This includes the brain, which no longer shows activity on electrophaltography. It shows notable selective regenerative properties, some injuries vanishing within moments of infliction while others remain unhealed, even after a period of time in which a normal human would have recovered. SCP-214 does not experience pain normally, instead reacting to it as pleasure with no regard to physical damage to its body. Objects have been noted to disappear in the vicinity of SCP-214. There is currently no known method of recovering lost items. Addendum 214A. Excerpts of Agent Redacted's diary relating to becoming SCP-214 have been transcribed to Log 214. Addendum 214B. Logs of interview with SCP-214 have been transcribed to Interview-214. Addendum 214C. Researcher Redacted has been detained after showing symptoms identical in nature to SCP-214 at the conclusion of L214. Containment procedures have been updated to reflect the contagious nature of SCP-214.
Interviewed. SCP-214 Interviewer. Researcher Initial interview to ascertain the origin of SCP-214 begin log. Researcher.
I'd like you to tell me again about what happened at the library.
SCP-214.
Library. Home sweet home. Have you been to the periodicals section? Such a lovely place. Glittering with the dewy webs of knowledge strewn across the indexes.
Researcher.
Home? Oh, what do you mean? Like a metaphysical home, or do you actually plan to live there? We show you have an address recorded as
SCP-214.
I've always been there. I'm still there. Home is where the library is, after all. And this is my home now, isn't it? So this is the library now. It'll be a fine one too, once I get everything organized.
Researcher.
What do you remember of before the library? Do you remember your name? Do you remember why you were sent to the library?
SCP-214.
My name is SCP-214, isn't it? Filed and stored away with so many other texts. I greatly admire your work. You hold so many beautiful things here.
Researcher.
That's your designation, yes. Do you remember what it was?
SCP-214.
Designation. A distinguishing name. Yes, I know it. Do you remember what yours is?
Researcher.
Of course. It's... But I'm not the one answering the questions here. Do you remember what happened at the library between when you arrived and when you were found?
SCP-214.
Are you sure? Because you told me it was Alicia before. Sometimes people lose themselves and I wouldn't want that to happen to you. It's for your own good that you know yourself. What happened? What always happens in a library? Knowledge was exchanged.
Researcher.
Alicia? What? No. You're attempting to change the subject. What knowledges were exchanged in the library? With whom? Reports suggested people inside engaging in some kind of synchronized ritual, but when we showed up, you were the only one there. What happened to the rest of the people, 214?
SCP-214.
I already told you. Knowledge was exchanged. Everything is information, to be stored and sorted, compressed, if need be.
Researcher.
Stored where? There was no traces of any other individual inside that building when the recovery team arrived. You were there, but you were covered in... the unknown sample.
SCP-214.
Oh, Alicia, you do have such a limited view of things here. You asked the wrong questions. You already know where. They are in the library. They never left.
Researcher.
My name isn't... We did a thorough search of the library, and you were the only one inside. We didn't even pick up any DNA traces. Someone or something had swept it clean. Tell me what happened in the library. What happened to those 17 people? 214.
SCP-214.
You keep confusing the map for the territory, Alicia. It is a bad habit. They've been indexed in the library, stored, numbered and sorted.
Researcher.
You don't mean the building, do you? When you talk about the library.
SCP-214. You do good work here. We work at complementary purposes. To secure, protect and contain. To organize, quantify and enlighten. You are so bright, Alicia. Just a few more steps now. Researcher.
Can you show me the library?
SCP-214.
Of course I can.
End log. Closing statement. Researcher was found after the interview inside SCP-214's enclosure, leaking silvery fluid from personal log.
Agent
Date
0405. I got my latest assignment. Apparently there's reports of cult activity centered around a public library in shipping out tomorrow to investigate, along with the rest of Lambda-7. There's major concern about it being a part of the Church of the Broken God, given that the location contains a large museum of machinery. I hate dealing with them. The crazy machine god thing gives me more creeps than the rest of the shit here. Most of them just kill your body.
Date
0409. Initial recon is back on the building. Nothing anomalous so far, with 90% of the building mapped. Only thing left is the Prodigals wing that seemed to be closed off for renovations. Seems like people go into there quite a bit after dark, but the door's always locked, and the architect that designed this place seems to have a personal vendetta against windows. Nothing wrong with spikes though. This place has spikes on every surface they can think of. Team's going to shadow one of them in tomorrow and see what's going on inside. Note, between this log and the next, the entirety of Lamada 7 vanished without a trace, along with the reported cultists.
Date.
4th of the 11th. Pages upon pages filter through my mind, breeze-born motion revealing in the saturation of information, coalesced and indexed to perfection, safely stored. The library approves of the new acquisitions to its collection, filling her walls evermore with the distilled essence of being for all to borrow but never keep, subsuming the identity and robing oneself in another for a time for the goals of the plans and partly realised dreams, emulating the flesh and its frailties, its ichors and impulses, as a marionette on strings dancing in jerky frivolity.
Date.
04/02/12. 9:32 a.m. Awake again, not sure how long I've slept on the way back to. Read previous log. I think I might have been sleep deprived or something. It doesn't make any sense. Colt's gone, team's gone. Writing after action report. Attempted to erase previous log but can't see the button to do that. Compromised. The word keeps echoing in my head. I think I've been compromised. Cut myself shaving this morning and bled quicksilver into the sink. The sensation of the blade cutting into my skin felt like a lover's caress. It's my duty to self-terminate. I've been compromised. Once the report's done, I'll do that. Still have my sidearm. 12:04 p.m. Tension, build-up, trembling figure, burnt cordite taste, the flash, the burst, the romance of leg, entangling bone and fat, followed by orgiastic release.
Date.
04:13. Awake again. The bullet didn't do anything. No recollection since I pulled the trigger. I was in the bathroom. Now I'm in the bed. There's hotel and medical staff uniforms lying around, but no people, no remains, no sign of a struggle, and not a drop of blood. Tried to call my superiors to warn them that I'm coming, but my finger keeps missing the numbers. All I can do is write in here. Something makes me think that they want this to be found, just too late. I'm still bleeding out the back of my head, and something feels right about that, and the warm sensation running down is delightful.